Hello everybody, my name is Hawnicide. I'm with Dtengaming. I'm here to show you guys today Mechwarrior Tactics. This is a online browser-based, actually RTS based in the Mechwarrior universe. BattleTech is what it used to be called. Go ahead and show you guys a little bit about it. It is in closed beta, however you can get in for about $20. I haven't had any luck facing human players. The matchmaking seems to be a little rocky at this point, but the AI works pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. You start off with a brace of 4 mechs, small ants. These are the Commander, the Spider, the Jenner, and the Hunchback, in that order. There aren't any assault mechs that I've seen, or anything really heavier than the Hunchback. As you can see, it's a hex-based game, similar to the old BattleTech tabletop game way back in the day. However, it is strictly just mech-on-mech combat right now. And as a former BattleTech player, I really was looking forward to seeing some tanks, some VTOL, some shit like that being in this game, but it's not in there yet, and I don't know if they're going to. As you can see, each mech has a different move rate, as it makes sense. The heavier the mech, the slower it moves, obviously, with a couple of them being equipped with jump jets, as you'll see here. You take your turn simultaneously, so as you can see, they're going to jump while I'm jumping, they're going to move out while I'm moving out, and it's the same for the combat, which is interesting because you can have your mech all ready to go and then suddenly he's gone. I've actually modified the loadouts for these. I equipped my Hunchback, who most people normally use as a big tough brawler. However, I kind of made him into a tanky sniper. He's got a long range PPC and a long range 15 missile, I believe. So he packs quite a punch at a distance. None of my guys were in range to attack. I'll skip the attack phase and go ahead and advance my units. As you can see, moving uphill, if you're not a jump capable mech, does severely slow you, which that's to be expected. Go ahead and move this guy up here. And turning actually counts as a move too. But you can, of course, do the classic torso twist without any penalty. Anyway, as I was saying, I was really looking forward to seeing like the JES, strategic missile carrier in there, the Demon, the Behemoth, all those classic, iconic Mechwarrior vehicles. This is your Alpha Strike, by the way. Kinda in there, so you could really have a full RTS, but that's not what this game is bringing to the table right now. That being said, it is pretty fun, and one of the better mech-based RTS-style games that I've seen here recently. So we're going to go ahead and move these guys, jump him up here, and the movement in this should and gives you like center torso 50, right arm, all that tells you kind of where you're hitting and what you're doing. It's all dice based, as you can see right here. Dragons, Blossom, that's the AI's. Commando rolled 26 to hit, 37 and hit. Now, just like the old tabletop game used to be, you can get to see some of the torso twist action. As you can see, this Hunchback really isn't designed to be carrying the amount of heat generation that I have. I mean, the PC generates 10. These generate 3 medium lasers, and okay, he's got LRM-10s, generates 4. Yeah, 4. Which is that's a considerable amount of heat. It's about 20 heat every Alpha Strike. So I really shouldn't be Alpha Striving at this point. However, I'm just going to park him up here and let him kind of dominate the battlefield from the high ground. So heat shouldn't be too much of a problem. As your heat increases, you can see you get all these different uh, modifiers, like the first shutdown risk. That's kind of a red flag, but it's this one right here, risk of ammo explosion. That's the one I never want to go over, because having your ammo, especially with the rockets and stuff that I have now, explode within your chassis is obviously going to be quite catastrophic to you and anyone around you. Alright, so none of these guys are in range. I don't think I can torso twist behind me, so I'm going to go ahead and end the combat there. And then, while I can still move pretty freely, I'm going to move him up here. Get a little higher ground on him. The AI is decent. They'll bloody your nose pretty well. However, they have a habit of fighting with only one or two of their mechs at a time. And if you can keep your mechs kind of close together and overpower them, you'll be sitting pretty when it comes to hurting them. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit of latency here, as you can see. It hasn't been too big of a problem yet, but, you know, as server loads and stuff increase, I'm sure it'll be more and more of a problem before they can address it. The nice thing is, though, is if you have to leave in the middle of a battle or something, it will save it for both of you, and you can actually play it, take your turn, he takes his turn, such. So you can actually make a game last quite a while. I'm going to head and skip forward to the point where it decides to advance. And due to the magic of at-home editing, we are back and progressing the ball forward. Alright, so they attacked. It didn't count my attack for some reason. It was lost. That's the first time this has happened to me. Not sure what that was all about. Probably some server-side lag, or my internet hiccuped. It's hard to say. Alright, so I'm going to bomb this guy. My heat has dropped back down to normal since I really didn't do anything that last round. So I'm going to be able to alpha strike the piss out of him. Oop. Alright, there we go. Here we go. You see the PPC hit there, criticals, rockets. I mean, there can be quite a lot going on at a time. And the order of fire, I'm not sure what dedicates it, but missiles do seem to fire last. Which isn't always bad if you have a good lock. They will track, which is nice. However, it can cause you to miss sometimes where they would have hit. Alright. These two mechs right here, my Hunchback and my Jenner, both are customizable. As you can see, I've got custom drivers or pilots in them, as well as some purple, the highest ranking I've found weapons so far in there that get bonuses. Like this has Overseer, which gives it a above target hit bonus, and Ranger, which while in the heavy woods, it gets a hit bonus as well. So as you rank up, you'll be able to select new weapons and things. Then you'll also earn scrap, I think, that will allow you to purchase card packs. It is card based. I don't know if I mentioned that before, which is kind of an odd mechanic, but it actually adds a lot of kind of a collector card feel to it, and it makes it pretty fun. Alright, so it looks like they actually destroyed my spider there, because he was kind of out front taking the brunt of everything. That's unfortunate. But I've beaten their commander, or commando, what is that? CLNT. I'm not actually familiar with what mech that is. So, see, commander, or commando, Clint. Might be a custom named one, actually, if I had to guess, because it looks exactly the same as my commando, the picture, so that's probably what it is. They probably named it. Alright. Let's beat up on their Hunchback here. As you can see, they have a purple Hunchback. That means it's the highest tier of that available right now. As far as I know, there are only these 4 mechs available at different degrees of rarity and power, obviously. but I'm sure they plan to add more. I think I read the number 68 somewhere. I'm not sure if that's how many variants they plan to have or how many unique mechs they plan to have. Hoping to see unique mechs. Like I said, I'm a huge BattleTech fan. Mad Cat, my favorite. Good clan-based. The Mach 2 was my favorite. But any of the Mad Cats really were, in my mind, the best for their tonnage. A heavy mech with, Gauss rifles or PPCs for long range work, medium to long range work, some short pulse lasers or some machine guns up front for in close, and of course the iconic large LR-15 packs on the top for the extreme long range work. And it is a very versatile fighting machine. I'd really like them to add some of the less known mechs in here too, like the Hatchet Man was always a fun one to dick around with. Big titanium hatchet, run up there and melee mechs apart. I'm sure they'll include the stereotypical Atlas or the Catapult or the mainstays like that. Alright, so you can see I got a left arm critical, and I actually was able to destroy his left arm with that salvo. And there, he moved out of the way of my missiles. I didn't have a very good lock with them. It's a good representation of that. With my smaller mechs, my Jenner and my Commando, I really don't have to worry about heat with the loadout I'm using. So I've just been alpha striking the entire time. Which, for the damage, so what you want to do, you want to put out as much as you can without risking hurting yourself through your heat buildup. And they have a good enough heat. Alright, so it looks like, wow, they actually destroyed my Commando too. This may be actually my first loss. And of course it's the one I decided to record. I've had 6 matches other than this. We'll see how it pans out here. Alright, we did destroy their Jenner in that. Or their Hunchback. Oh my goodness. Talking about too many mechs. I'm starting to get tongue-tied. Alright, so the terrain is blocking me there. Haha. I can get a lock on there. Alright, that's going to put me at the ammo explosion and another shutdown risk. So I'm going to drop these 2 off there. That's really not going to affect me much. Nope, don't want to do that. There we go. And if you're in a situation where you don't know, you either want to pick the one that's the most likely to hit, the one with the highest hit percentage, or alternatively you want to do the one with the most damage. I mean, it's a hard call to make sometimes. Alright, so we destroyed his arm, and we beat up on his center torso quite a bit. So, attempting to gut him here. As you can see, my left arm, or my right arm, I'm sorry, is actually pretty low. He's blown off all my external armor. And that leaves him able to either blow it off or destroy the actuator, which would essentially render it useless. And eventually you can obviously have your weapons destroyed, your actuators, all those things like that is what you would expect from a good mech game. There, blew off his right leg. That's going to hamper his speed. Not enough for him not to be able to creep away, but enough that we shouldn't have to worry about him creeping up on us for a while. He will, however, probably try and bombard us from over there. However, I think he's in a hole. And that being a light mech, I'm not sure if he'll actually be able to peek his head out and hurt us. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of the long-range missiles here, and I think I'm going to shoot first. I think I'm going to throw my PPC in the... Nope, not with that heat. Alright, I'm going to go 2 medium lasers and a short-range laser, just due to their hit chance. It will be less damage, but I need to kind of think about conserving my heat at this point, because I will need to move soon. He's a very slow, ponderous mech. Have him pretty weighted down, and this is a very hilly environment. My Jenner, on the other hand, can just jump jet wherever he needs to be. Alright, so he's going to relocate here. Again, I'm going to hit the Jenner with everything I have, or use my Jenner to hit with everything I have. You can see this takes 1 ammo per salvo, and I have 36 or 39, I'm sorry, salvos left, but it's only a LRM5. So it's not going to do near as much damage. That's only going to do 50 damage compared to the 100 damage of my LRM10. And I have an LRM15. I think, however, the weight it required, I didn't have enough to put it into this build. I'm going to do everything but the missiles, because the missiles will put me up in a place I don't want to be heat-wise, and they have a lower range, or a lower chance to hit. Long-range missiles, if they're too close, you won't actually get that good target lock, and if they're close enough, the warheads won't actually even activate, like with modern missiles. Alright, you see, he had his right torso ammo cache explode there. You see, there's going to be a ton of secondary explosions ripping through him, and it's going to end up killing him. Right here, his right torso, it blew up, and that threw all that damage into his center torso. It's impossible to survive, even for the toughest mech. Alright, so I'm not going to be able to attack either of them. However, I will be able to jump jet this guy. Actually, I want to go here. And when jump jetting, you can set your position to land for free. Doesn't cost any more movement. I'm going to advance my hunch back towards his commando over here. Alright. Let's see, I don't think I can fire down into there yet. Nope, I can't. Pretty sure I can't fire into that valley either. No. Alright. That's expected. I believe he's actually out of the range of this guy's weapons too. If I frickin' click on him. Yeah, he is. So he's actually down in a pool, dipping down in there, trying to hide. It's not gonna work, so I'm gonna be able to jump jet straight to him. And then this guy, I probably won't be able to hit him this turn, but next turn I'll definitely be able to bring all of my forward armaments to bear on this guy. And that's gonna be GG, I feel. Yeah, I still can't bring anything to bear here. I should be able to depress enough to... Yeah, I can light into this guy with both my medium lasers, my small laser, and my LRM. This is an experimental build for him. I'm not sure I like it on the Jenner. It does an okay amount of damage, but I feel if I had a PPC or something like that on there, instead of having a medium small laser combo, I'd be able to put out a little bit more damage. It's still a balancing act, though. Every Mechwarrior game's different. Back in Mechwarrior Vengeance, a good large laser PPC would pretty much fry anything. And if it didn't, your second salvo would. Alright, so I'm pretty much touching him. I have good chance to hit with all my laser energy weapons. My long-range missiles, not such a good chance, but I might as well fire it all off, because I shouldn't have to move anywhere. As you can see here, even the long-range missile 5, due to my elevation, I'm going to have a lot better chance of hitting him. So let's watch this go down. Kind of center them both up here. Right, there we go, that mech is destroyed. I've done quite a few criticals on this guy here. Oh, and he's going to pick him off too, with that final medium laser shot. Alright, and of course, they have to finish out their turns, destroying the body. Alright, so this is, as you can see, I'm rank 5. My opponent was Dragon Blossom as an AI. The map, scenarios destroy all mechs, took me 19 turns. 100 experience, and then this is the scrap, or the salvage. I'm going to claim that. Now, when you rank up, when you get to this screen, there will be a chance for you to pick one of 3 cards. And it could be a weapon, mod, targeting computer upgrade, driver, anything like that. However, I don't think I'm going to rank up, so I probably won't get to see. Oh, I am going to get a rank up, actually. Look at this. Alright, so yeah, here's what I was talking about. I get the choice of here. I can have an SRM4, a range striker, which is I believe that's a tactics, or an SRM4 again. Alright, so this has Snapfire Guidance 10. I'm not sure what that does. There, I can kind of read it there. Alright, so that's to do with if I jump jet. That might be a good thing to put on my Jenner, since I can't actually modify my commando or my spider. Alright, that's a heavy wood bonus. if I'm in the deep woods. Let's see if I'm having a hard time reading this one back there. They haven't really perfected the system yet. I'm not sure what the stars here mean. I think if you pick those, you'll get, if you fill all 5 stars, you'll get a number, and then that'll lead to better things, but I don't know that for sure. Right, so this has Heat Seeker and Steady on it. I'm going to go ahead and go with this just for the simple fact that it's the same damage, but I get 2 abilities with this instead of 1. And there you see I get a star added. Alright, I'll show you guys a little bit of the mech editing here. Alright, as you can see, these guys, my spider, it'll load here. Having some horrible latency issues here lately. I don't know if it's this or if it's on my end. So you can see I can't actually modify his armament here. I think that has to do with his rarity being blue. My Jenner, on the other hand, I should be able to modify. Alright, yeah. I'll sort them by damage. As you can see, this short range missile 6-pack is going to do 120 damage per hit. That's the highest I have right now, where this machine gun will do 20 a hit. You can see all of these purple, or I guess that's orange, or yellow. I guess that's yellow, that's orange. Or they're the same, I don't know. Anyway, they have effects, different abilities on them. I take it back. This is actually going to hit the hardest, an AC-20. Big ol' autocannon. So yeah, you can change this. If you had any other chassis, they'd be here. Weapons, tech, such as heat sinks, obviously very important if you're having a lot of energy or missiles. This you can distribute different armor amounts. Have most of them boosted to their highest, as you can see. Here's where you can put your pilots and then select their tactics. My Jenner has Archangel. Laser weapons get a 5% hit bonus. Paints, you can put different paints on them. You can add little insignias, like so. And then this is ammo, of course, and you don't actually have to find ammo cards. They are included. Infinite, obviously. Alright. One last thing before we go here. As you can see, I have 2,000 some odd scrap. I obviously bought in at the $20 level. I may go higher later on. Right now, I'm really not looking to dump much money into it. But we'll see. I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. Here's where these stacks. Here's where you buy new cards. I've only found weapons and tactics in it so far, but I believe there is a rare chance of you getting a chassis. Alright, so here we go. Commander, 9-card pack. Let's open it. Costs 5,000 script. Alright, so we got an autocannon, small laser, short range missile pack. Alright, we got a paint. That's a first. A machine gun, medium laser, medium laser, medium laser, small laser. Alright, so nothing too exciting right now. That autocannon's kind of nice, 50 damage. Kind of a small autocannon, but if you could have multiple together, it would pack quite a punch. As you can see in actuators here, all the essential things for your mech to run. And yeah, that's about it. That is Mechwarrior Tactics. Please let me know what you think. If you guys would like to see more of this, I'd be happy to play it. I'm going to be playing it on my own for a while. I'd be happy to record them while I'm doing it. If you guys have a suggestion or anything else you'd like to see, just let me know. iBlowfish, and Doc Scratch are all starting to spend a lot more time on D10 as a whole. I've actually kind of put my home channel, Hawnicide, on hold for now. I'm starting school and stuff. I'm not going to have time to do both. So I'm just going to upload my solo stuff straight to D10. And we'll see how you guys like it. I'm having fun so far. Hoping you guys are too. My name's Hawnicide, Dtengaming. I'll see y'all next time.